Brings us to file item 76, AB 399 by Assemblymember Berner. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 399 by Assemblymember Berner and others, enacting the coastal resources.
Assemblymember Berner, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 399 would authorize the California Coastal Commission to add blue carbon demonstration projects to the suite of factors it considers for potential mitigation when improving coastal development permits where feasible. Research shows that blue carbon ecosystems, such as seagrasses and salt marshes, are more efficient at capturing and storing atmospheric carbon than most terrestrial forests. Sadly, California has lost over 90% of its historical wetlands and the associated benefits they provide, such as protecting coastal communities from harmful impacts of climate change, such as sea level rise and flooding. This bill idea is the result of the transportation project in North County, San Diego. I invite you down, if you're ever in my neck of the woods, to come visit the Santa Leo Lagoon Conservancy with me, where a project to widen the I-5 freeway lanes addressed environmental concerns related to wildlife living in a 6 coastal lagoon, 32 acres of wetlands, and 72 acres of coastal sage through a blue carbon mitigation project. During the coastal permitting process, the Coastal Commission approved the project with improvements related to enhancing marine and environmentally sensitive habitat areas. This innovative approach to mitigating impacts to natural resources can be replicated and should be replicated to build or restore blue carbon sinks throughout California's coast. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Berner. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 42, noes 13. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 77, AB 400 by Assemblymember Pacheco. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 400 by Assemblymember Pacheco and others, enacting into law enforcement.
Assemblymember Pacheco, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I rise to present Assembly Bill 400. AB 400 requires all law enforcement agencies with K-9 units to meet the statewide standards recently established by the Commission for Peace Officer Standards and Training, ensuring consistency, accountability, and excellence. The post guidelines focus on 3 key areas: use of force standards, minimum training requirements, and essential skills for canines and handlers. With the passage of AB 400, California will lead the nation with the most comprehensive statewide K-9 requirements in the country. This bill represents a significant step toward fostering trust between law enforcement agencies and the community they serve. This bill has received bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pacheco. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 59, no 0. The measure passes. I'm going to pass and retain on file item 78. Brings us to file item 79, AB 411 by Assemblymember Pappen. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 411 by Assemblymember Pappen and others, enacting into livestock.
Assemblymember Pappen, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I rise today to present a bill that is of practical and environmental importance. This bill will allow ranchers to compost livestock carcasses on their farms. Currently, the options for the disposal of deceased animals are limited, costly, and often very problematic, with some farmers going as far as helicoptering carcasses out into the ocean. Whether it's burial, transporting to one of the state's only 3 rendering plants, or leaving remains in bone piles, these methods are inefficient, expensive, and create further issues, including attracting predators. Composting livestock carcasses is a method already allowed in 42 other states, and more are moving in this direction. California has authorized composting in emergencies during extreme heat or natural disasters, but this bill extends that permission to everyday use. This is a common sense solution that supports both our ag producers and our environment, and I request an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pappen. Assemblymember Macedo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of this bill. As somebody that grew up on a farm, when tallow works shut down, the dead piles and animals that needed to be disposed of would grow. So this is a great bill and a common sense approach to handling an issue that hits very near and dear, and I would be honored to be added as a co-author. Request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Macedo. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Pappen, do you wish to close?
I want to thank my colleague who will add you as a co-author. Respectfully request an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pappen. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 63, noes 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item number 80, AB 413 by Assemblymember Fong. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 413 by Assemblymember Fong, and act relating to housing.
Assemblymember Fong, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Assembly Bill 413 requires the Housing and Community Development Department to review and translate any guidelines that explain rights and services to the public. Unfortunately, these benefits are not available to everyone equally, a familiar issue to anyone who works with our diverse immigrant communities. We must continue to ensure that our agencies, their services and laws, and services are available to the public are accessible by translating materials. This bill has received no votes. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Fong. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 61, noes 0. The measure passes. Gets us to file item 81, AB 419 by Assemblymember Connolly. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 419 by Assemblymember Connolly, and act relating to educational equity.
Assemblymember Connolly, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to present AB 419, which will require schools to post the California AG's Immigrant Enforcement Actions at California Schools Guide for Students and Families, also known as Know Your Educational Rights, in schools and on their website. This guide informs students and families of their educational rights and protections under law, including the right to a free public education and the confidentiality of their personal information. Our California students, regardless of their immigration status, have the right to a free public education. AB 419 will ensure that immigrant students and families are advised of these rights. Members, every child in California deserves to pursue a public education without fear. This bill has no opposition, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Connolly. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 51, noes 6. The measure passes. Brings us to file item number 82, AB 422 by Assemblymember Jackson. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 422 by Assemblymember Jackson, and act relating to pupil instruction.
Assemblymember Jackson, you are recognized.
This is AB 422. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jackson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 68, noes 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain on file items 83, 84. Brings us to file item 85, AB 431 by Assemblymember Wilson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 431 by Assemblymember Wilson and others, and act relating to aviation.
Assemblymember Wilson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, members. Today I rise to present AB 431, the Advanced Air Mobility Infrastructure Act. AB 431 establishes a statewide framework for the development of this infrastructure in California. The bill calls for a comprehensive plan supported by subject matter experts to guide implementation and ensure consistent growth. It also equips local and regional jurisdictions with the tools needed to expand access to this transformative technology for millions of Californians. Advanced Air Mobility is a cutting-edge transportation system that uses underutilized air routes to remove passengers and cargoes. It relies on electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, which serve multiple purposes, including passenger travel, cargo delivery, and medical transport. Many California-based companies have been leading the way in this type of innovation. However, many countries like Germany are making great advances. Without a clear plan, California risks lagging in the fast-moving field. AB 431 addresses this by providing the structure
and statewide coordination needed to transform emerging advanced air mobility technologies into practical, accessible solutions. With that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wilson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 86, AB 440 by Assemblymember Ramos. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 440 by Assemblymember Ramos, enacted in the Public Health.
Assemblymember Ramos, you are recognized.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 440 would require the Office of Suicide Prevention to provide the Department of Transportation with recommendations for suicide preventative measures for our state's bridges and roadways. We must be proactive and evaluate the areas in our local communities that may pose a danger to our members at risk. The office should provide recommendations to Caltrans for the appropriate measures to be taken to mitigate risks such as physical barriers, surveillance, or simple plaques with detailed information to mental health resources. We cannot sit idle and wait for tragedy to strike before we take action. We need to ensure we provide at-risk individuals with the opportunity to turn back, reconsider their options, and guide them to mental health resources wherever possible. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ramos. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 58, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 87, AB 443 by Assemblymember Bennett. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 443 by Assemblymember Bennett, enacted into energy.
Assemblymember Bennett, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 443 requires the California Energy Commission to assess our grid and where curtailment is occurring, how much is occurring, and whether it is due to oversupply or transmission congestion. To make best use of our renewable energy and address long-term storage needs, this bill also directs the CEC to provide recommendations for using those curtailed renewables to produce clean hydrogen. We all know that renewables are subject to seasonal variability. We have a lot of solar on hot summer days and not enough on cool winter nights. This bill has no formal opposition and received unanimous support in the Assembly Natural Resources and Assembly Utilities Committee. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bennett. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 59, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 88, AB 449 by Assemblymember Jackson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 449 by Assemblymember Jackson, enacted into civil rights.
Assemblymember Jackson, you are recognized.
AB 449, y'all know what to do.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jackson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 46, noes 1. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 89, AB 450 by Assemblymember Carrillo. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 450 by Assemblymember Carrillo and others, enacted into public social services.
Assemblymember Carrillo, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. Thank you for allowing me to present Assembly Bill 450. AB 450 seeks to create a joint task force with the Department of Aging and CDSS, proposing policy recommendations how to best support immigrants who are 55 years or older. This bill recognizes the lifelong contributions aging immigrants have made to the state by ensuring they have access to the resources they need to retire with dignity, maintain their health, and continue uplifting our communities. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Carrillo. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 49, noes 6. The measure passes. Madam Majority Leader, you are recognized.
Thank you. At the request of the author, please remove file item 378 to the inactive file.
Without objection, such shall be the order. Moving back to business on the daily file, we're at file item number 90, AB 451 by Assemblymember Petrie Norris. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 451 by Assemblymember Petrie Norris, an act relating to law enforcement.
Assemblymember Petrie Norris, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, pleased to present AB 451 today. AB 451 will establish standardized protocols for implementing gun violence restraining orders. Gun violence restraining orders protect victims of domestic violence, workplace harassment, and stalking. But these orders are only as effective as their implementation. And in practice, implementation is uneven across the state and often severely delayed. The stakes are incredibly high in these situations. And so AB 451 will require law enforcement agencies to adopt standardized policies for serving and enforcing gun violence restraining orders across the state of California. This bill will help protect communities from gun violence. The bill has received bipartisan support. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Petrie Norris. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 64, no 0. The measure passes. I'm going to pass and retain on file item 91. Brings us to file item 92, AB 461 by Assemblymember Ahrens. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 461 by Assemblymember Ahrens and others, an act relating to truancy.
Assemblymember Ahrens, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 461 ensures that families facing school attendance challenges receive the support that they need rather than punishment, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ahrens. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 49, noes 8. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file items 93 through 95. Gets us to file item 96, AB 480 by Assemblymember Quirk Silva. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 480 by Assemblymember Quirk Silva, an act relating to taxation.
Assemblymember Quirk Silva, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 480 increases the impact of low-income housing tax credits by allowing developers to switch from allocated to certificated state credits after an award. This is a support, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Quirk Silva. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 64, no 0. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file items 97 through 99. Brings us to file item 100, AB 489 by Assemblymember Bonta. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 489 by Assemblymember Bonta and others, an act relating to healing arts.
Assemblymember Bonta, you are recognized.
Thank you, members. I'm pleased to present AB 489. By now, we're all familiar with the rapid rise of generative AI. This bill is straightforward, common sense solution to an unfortunate problem: generative AI systems misrepresenting themselves as health professionals. This is unacceptable and has a massive potential for consumer harm. This bill is simple. It takes existing title protections in the law that apply to people and extends those rules to apply to AI systems. AB 489 will draw a bright line and say an AI system cannot present itself as a health professional, period. I respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bonta. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 65, no 0. The measure passes. To pass and retain on file item 101. That brings us to file item 102, AB 499 by Assemblymember Ortega. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 499 by Assemblymember Ortega, an act relating to health care.
Assemblymember Ortega, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present AB 499. The Robert F. Kennedy Farm Worker Medical Plan provides medical benefits to about 6,000 farm workers and their families. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ortega. Assemblymember Bennett, you are recognized. Members, please only lift your microphone when you're ready to speak on a given bill. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 51, noes 1. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 103, AB 506 by Mr. Bennett. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 506 by Assemblymember Bennett and others, and accolade in the pass.
Assemblymember Bennett, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and pardon that faux pas. In today's digital age, many people begin their search for a new pet online. Unfortunately, thousands of consumers have fallen victim to fraudulent online pet sales, paying large deposits for dogs or cats that often come from inhumane breeding facilities or don't exist. Pet sellers have been using predatory practices requiring buyers to place a non-refundable deposit before answering any questions. A recent LA Times expose revealed that the puppy mill pipeline between out-of-state breeders and California consumers is alive and well. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bennett. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 56, noes 1. The measure passes. We're going to pass on file item 104. Brings us to file item 105, AB 512 by Assemblymember Harbedian. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 512 by Assemblymember Harbedian and others, and accolade the health care coverage.
Assemblymember Harbedian, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 512 would save lives by shortening prior authorization timelines. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Harbedian. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 49, noes 1. Measure passes. Brings us to file item 106, AB 524 by Assemblymember Wilson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 524 by Assemblymember Wilson and others, and accolade to agricultural land and making an appropriation therefore.
Assemblymember Wilson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm a little out of breath, and I know we're supposed to be short, but this one's important, so I want to make sure I give the full remarks. So, good afternoon, members. I'm pleased to present AB 524, the Farmland Access and Conservation for Thriving Communities Act. This bill would create a new land access program at the Department of Conservation to address one of the largest challenges California's beginning and socially disadvantaged farmers currently face: land tenure. The Farmer Equity Act, passed in 2017 by my colleague from Winters, not only defined socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers, but also resulted in a report that demonstrates that land tenure is a core challenge, stating many socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers do not have a stable, long-term arrangement for land. This affects the long-term sustainability of their businesses, as well as the ability, to incorporate conservation practices. Without access, today, land access has never been more attainable as we see the rapid rates of land access and soaring land prices. The Department of Conservation estimates nearly 50,000 acres of agricultural land is lost annually, weakening rural economies and ecosystems. Without access to secure land, farmers have limited stability on the land they rent, which leads to an inability to invest in sustainable agriculture and conservation practices, or even apply for many existing governmental programs meant to help farmers. Furthermore, there is not a single program or policy in the state of California aimed at addressing the fundamental challenge of land access for beginning and socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers. Utilizing the foundation and funding for this program is Prop 4. AB 524 will require the Department of Conservation, in collaboration with California Agricultural Land Equity Task Force, to provide financial and technical assistance to support agricultural land acquisition, protection, or provide long-term leases to qualified farmers, participants. I appreciate my colleague from Winters' long-time work on this, and glad to help carry the baton across the finish line. This bill enjoys bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wilson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 58, no 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass on file item 107. Brings us to file item 108, AB 531 by Assemblymember Rogers. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 531 by Assemblymember Rogers and others, and act related to energy.
Assemblymember Rogers, you are recognized.
Thank you. AB 531 is an expansion for geothermal energy, and I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rogers. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 57, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 109, AB 535 by Assemblymember Schiavo. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 535 by Assemblymember Schiavo and others, and act related to crimes.
Assemblymember Schiavo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 535 will ensure that victims of crime and witnesses are free to assist law enforcement and safeguard their community, knowing that the state will protect them from intimidation. It is sponsored by the offices of the LA County District Attorney and also the City Attorney. There's no votes, bipartisan support, and respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Schiavo. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 56, no 0. The measure passes. We're at file item 110, AB 543 by Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 543 by Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez and others, and act related to Medi-Cal.
Assemblymember Gonzalez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud to present AB 543, which will ensure that people experiencing homelessness can access immediate life-saving medical services through street medicine providers without unnecessary delays or administrative barriers. This is a support bill with 0 no votes. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Gonzalez. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 57, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 111, AB 550 by Assemblymember Petrie Norris. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 550 by Assemblymember Petrie Norris, and act related to fish and wildlife.
Assemblymember Petrie Norris, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The California Endangered Species Act has successfully protected endangered and threatened species over the years by ensuring that impacts from development are minimized and mitigated. AB 550 addresses a narrow but important gap in this process and ensures that development projects are able to move forward in a way that is both responsible as well as swift. This bill has received bipartisan support and no votes. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Petrie Norris. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 60, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 112, AB 557 by Assemblymember McKinnon. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 557 by Assemblymember McKinnon, and act related to housing.
Assemblymember McKinnon, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, AB 557 is a part of the legislature's housing affordability and permitting reform bill package that would increase the production of factory-built housing in the state. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinnon. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 62, no 0. The measure passes. File item 113, AB 560 by Assemblymember Addis. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 560 by Assemblymember Addis, and act related to special education.
Assemblymember Addis, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to present AB 560, the Supporting Special Education Act. Special Educators Act. This bill has no registered opposition and has received unanimous support in the Education and Appropriation Committees, and I respectfully ask for your aye votes.
Thank you, Assemblymember Addis. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 64, no 0. The measure passes. File item 114, AB 561 by Assemblymember Quirk Silva. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 561 by Assemblymember Quirk Silva, enacting the restraining orders.
Assemblymember Quirk Silva, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I present AB 561, a bill that modernizes the process for obtaining elder abuse restraining orders, ensuring that elderly victims of abuse have the same legal protections as victims of domestic violence and civil harassment. This is a support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Quirk Silva. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 66, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 115, AB 563 by Assemblymember Jackson. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 563 by Assemblymember Jackson, enacting the child care.
Assemblymember Jackson, you are recognized.
AB 563 to strengthen our child care system. Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jackson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 59, no 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain on file items 116 and 117. We're going to pass on file item 118. Pass and retain on file item 119. Brings us to file item 120, AB 599 by Assemblymember Connolly. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 599 by Assemblymember Connolly, enacting the hazardous waste.
Assemblymember Connolly, you are recognized.
Thank you, Speaker and members. AB 599 requires the Department of Toxic Substances Control to facilitate local community input regarding the proposed reclassification of waste or proposed alternative management standards. This bill simply provides transparency in the department's decision-making. The bill has no opposition. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Connolly. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. Folks, we're going to take a brief break and hear from Assemblymember Berner from the Majority Leader's desk for her guest introduction.
My name is Tasha Berner, and I want to welcome our guests from Aviara Oaks. Go ahead and wave. These are my fourth graders. They've come up to see us at House of Origin. All of our bills have to be out of this house this week in order to pass on, so you're getting us at a very exciting time. We're walking around working our bills. But thank you for coming up here. Thank you for caring about our legislative process and making the trek up here.
Aviara Oaks, thank you for visiting us today. Welcome to the California Assembly. Mr. Haney. Okay, we are going to go to file item 121, AB 601 by Assemblymember Jackson. The clerk will read. Mr. Leader Gallagher, would you mind?
Assembly Bill 601 by Assemblymember Jackson, enacting the child abuse.
Assemblymember Jackson, you are recognized.
AB 601 to improve our mandated reporter process. Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jackson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 61, no 0. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file item 122. That brings us to file item 123, Assembly Bill 607 by Assemblymember Rodriguez. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 607 by Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez, enacting the Public Social Services.
Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 607 will benefit the lives of children and families in the CalWORKS Home Visiting Program. It is support. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rodriguez. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 59, no 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain on file item 124. That brings us to file item 125, AB 620 by Assemblymember Jackson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 620 by Assemblymember Jackson, enacting the zero-emission vehicles.
Assemblymember Jackson, you are recognized.
AB 620 for common sense ZEV regulations. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jackson. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 57, no 0. The measure passes.
Next item is file number 126 by Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan, AB 621. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 621 by Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan and others, enacting to the Internet.
Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. AB 621 will protect your communities from non-consensual nudification and pornography. It has received bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Assemblymember DeMaio, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of AB 621, even though we have a lot of bills to get to, and I supported the bill in committee and appreciate the work the chair has done on this important legislation. But I've noticed that there's a pattern of some bills related to this that have not been taken up from this side. And so, again, I would urge legislative decorum in allowing bills from all members to be considered, as we are considering this very good bill from the chair of the Committee on Privacy and Consumer Protection. She's put a lot of work into this bill, as other members can understand when they put a lot of work into their bills that would enjoy the support of this body if they were, of course, given an opportunity to be heard, like my colleague's bill today that I am highly in support of. So my hope is that the message will be heard. Time is of the essence. But we want to make sure that we give thoughtful consideration and analysis to each and every bill. We can't go through things too hastily. Because, you know, if certain things are missed, then it's important to pump the brakes a bit. It's important to slow down, to make sure we're very deliberate in analyzing and considering every bill. So with that, I urge the Speaker to support all bills, including Assembly Bill 621, for thoughtful discussion, debate, and a recorded vote. Thank you.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan, would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 58, noes 0. The measure passes. Next item is item number 127, AB 629 by Assemblymember Ward. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 629 by Assemblymember Ward, enacted in the school districts.
Assemblymember Ward, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, AB 629 changes the reporting threshold for school district equipment inventory and will save our schools time and money. Respectfully request your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 60, noes 0. The measure passes. Item number 130, AB 649 by Assemblymember Lowenthal. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 649 by Assemblymember Lowenthal and others, enacted into disability access.
Assemblymember Lowenthal, you are recognized.
Well, members of the Legislative On-Time Caucus, I hope that you enjoyed the pastries that were in the lounge earlier. Come from the world-famous Nona Mercado in Long Beach, California, that has been sued multiple times for violating ADA access, unfortunately. And I do not know of any independent restaurateurs in my universe in Long Beach and Sacramento and otherwise throughout the state of California that has not faced similar litigation. There's a very big difference from the frivolous versus the actual legitimate litigation that has to do with access. AB 649 is the right bill to remedy this. It grants businesses that proactively get an inspection from a certified access specialist or a CASP and correct all construction-related violations identified in the inspection, a 6-year window where they're given 120 days right to correct violation identified in a construction liability claim. The goal of 649 is to strike an appropriate balance between maintaining the critically important rights and protections granted to disabled individuals under current law, incentivizing businesses to obtain CASP inspections, and to make necessary corrections to remove barriers, drive compliance with ADA law, while granting those businesses who are complying with the law greater protection from frivolous lawsuits. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 51, noes 0. The measure passes. Correction on Assembly Bill 649, ayes 59, noes 0. The measure passes. Returning to file item 116, AB 564 by Assemblymember Haney. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 564 by Assemblymember Haney, enacted into taxation to take effect immediately. Tax levy.
Assemblymember Haney, you are recognized.
Thank you, Speaker and members. AB 564 provides tax relief to California's struggling cannabis industry by freezing an unprecedented 25% excise tax increase. I want to start off by saying very clearly that this bill simply freezes this tax. It does not decrease or cut the existing tax. The legal cannabis industry, which is subject to a patchwork of state and local taxes and fees, is at threat of being overtaken by an illegal, untaxed industry. Fully licensed legal businesses in California capture just 40% of the state's entire market, while the underground illegal market accounts for 60%. In 2024, active cannabis licenses decreased by 18%. And simply put, this tax increase would be an extinction event for many in the cannabis legal industry. They need a lifeline to keep small businesses open. keep hundreds of thousands of workers employed, and keep the promise we made to voters to make cannabis legal and accessible. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 55, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 131, AB 650 by Assemblymember Pappen. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 650 by Assemblymember Pappen and others, and act relating to land use.
Assemblymember Pappen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill is about getting cities out of HCD purgatory. Listen, we all have a lot of cities that have worked very, very hard in the RHNA process and with getting their housing elements adopted. And what happens is cities end up going round and round with HCD, with moving targets and conflicting advice. So what this bill does is two very simple things. Number one, it starts the RHNA process 6 months earlier, so cities have a bit more time to get their housing elements completed. And the second thing that it does is it requires HCD to be very specific. It needs to be very specific as it relates to a deficiency in a housing element and how you cure that deficiency. I respectfully request an aye vote to help all of our cities get out of HCD purgatory.
Seeing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 59, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 160, AB 772 by Assemblymember Lowenthal. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 772 by Assemblymember Lowenthal and others, and act relating to educational equity.
Assemblymember Lowenthal, you are recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker and members. You know, like many of you in this body, as a parent, I've been dealing with the issue of cyberbullying that's taking place after hours or off school campuses, and it's been vexing for us as a family, and I know there are millions of Californians dealing with the same issue. AB 772 aims to require the California Department of Education to develop a model policy that's aimed at addressing certain acts of cyberbullying that occur outside of school hours, and require that each local educational agency either adopt CDE's model policy or develop their own policy, but they cannot have no policy. AB 772 will help provide districts with the necessary clarification on actions they can take to ensure all students can enjoy a safe and productive learning environment during school and after school. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Assemblymember Bonta, you're recognized.
At the peril of having our Senate Pro Tem complain about me speaking on this bill, I just wanted to raise the mic and wanted to thank the author from Long Beach for making sure to take something that is deeply personal, both to him and to me and to our respective children, to support our children every single day as cyberbullying becomes something that is such a tremendous challenge for everyone. And this is a smart move to be able to ensure that we have a model policy that can be adopted by the state in total. And I want to thank the author for bringing it forward.
Seeing no further debate, Assemblymember Lowenthal, would you like to close?
No, I just, you know, it's a joy when we get to work on issues that are nonpartisan, that are issues that are non-geographic, that are issues about families. And so I want to thank my colleague from Alameda, you know, for her work in this area and for opening up her heart, as so many of you in this process, and respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 63, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 139, AB 675, Aguiar Curry. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 675 by Assemblymember Aguiar Curry, enacting the food and agriculture.
Assemblymember Aguiar Curry, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Ms. Speaker. AB 675 will secure the future of California's Farm to School program by making it a state law. This program connects nearly half of California students with healthy, locally sourced food and provides hands-on education, agriculture, nutrition, and environmental stewardship. This bill codifies the Farm to School program to make sure that it benefits our students, our farmers, and our local economies for years to come. This bill is a support and no opposition. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. File item 140, AB 678 by Assemblymember Lee. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 678 by Assemblymember Lee and others, enacting into homelessness.
Assemblymember Lee, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Happy Pride Month. I rise to present AB 678, the LGBTQ plus Safe and Inclusive Housing Act to help our unhoused LGBT folks. Respectfully ask your aye vote.
Seeing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Ayes 50, no 0. The measure passes. File item 141, AB 688 by Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 688 by Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez, enacting into Medi-Cal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. AB 688, the Telehealth for All Act of 2025 requires the Department of Healthcare Services utilize Medi-Cal data and other available sources to produce a publicly available biannual Medi-Cal telehealth utilization report. This report will analyze telehealth access, utilization, quality of care, clinical outcomes, preventative care to ensure Californians optimize telehealth services for all communities. Together, this bill is building a healthier and more connected California. This bill has received unanimous bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Ayes 68, no 0. The measure passes. File item 142, AB 689 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 689 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio, enacting into foster youth.
Assemblymember Rubio, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members, for allowing me to present AB 689. This bill would create a statewide child welfare disaster response fund to quickly support foster children and caregivers after natural disasters like the recent LA wildfires. The funds would cover housing, transportation, clothing, and other essential needs within 180 days of declared emergency. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 65, no 0. The measure passes. File item 143, AB 694 by Assemblymember McKinner. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 694 by Assemblymember McKinner, enacting into employment.
Assemblymember McKinner, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker and members, AB 694 addresses the critical staffing shortage at the Division of Occupational Safety and Health within the Department of Industrial Relations. These shortages are limited the department's ability to conduct vital workplace safety inspections and protect California workers. This bill is a key step towards strengthening workplace safety, oversight, and ensuring California remains a national leader in protecting workers. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Ayes 63, noes 1. The measure passes. File item 147, AB 705 by Assemblymember Berner. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 705 by Assemblymember Berner, an accolade to the Public Utilities Commission.
Assemblymember Berner, you're recognized.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker and members. Today I'm presenting AB 705. This bill would establish the Inspector General and the Independent Office of Audits and Investigations at the California Public Utilities Commission. This office, to be overseen by the Inspector General, would be responsible for performing audits of key financial management and operational functions within the Commission. Although the CPUC does have an existing internal audit office, those reports are rarely made public, and the internal auditor is not organizationally independent. The best metric we have to evaluating this very large agency's performance over the years is through infrequent audits from the State Auditor's Office. For example, over the last 30 years, the CPUC has been audited by the State Auditor less than once per year. The recent results have findings that are not favorable for ratepayers and highlight the deficiencies in CPUC's management. Given the size and scope of the CPUC's work and its independent nature as a constitutional agency, more accountability is needed for the public and the legislature to evaluate whether changes are necessary. The proposal of an Inspector General is modeled after independent Inspector Generals that exist in a few other state agencies, like the Department of Transportation and Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Over the years, Inspector General in state and federal government have found inefficiencies, waste, and areas of improvement that save taxpayers money. The thought is with this bill that we could apply the same dynamic to the CPUC in order to get the same benefit for California ratepayers. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 61, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 148, AB 716 by Assemblymember Carrillo. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 716 by Assemblymember Carrillo, an accolade to the State Fire Marshal.
Assemblymember Carrillo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I rise to present AB 716, a simple bill that requires the State Fire Marshal to adopt statewide safety standards as a model for local governments and to appoint a hydrogen fire safety expert to provide guidance and support for local governments. This has been a bipartisan bill with 0 no votes, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Ayes 63, noes 0. The measure passes. Moving to item number 325, AB 262 by Assemblymember Kaluza. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 262 by Assemblymember Caloza and others, an accolade to disaster assistance and making an appropriation therefore and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Assemblymember Kaluza, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I respectfully ask for my colleagues to support AB 262, the California Individual Assistance Act, which will help all victims of disaster. Thank you.
Assemblymember DeMaio, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in strong opposition to AB 262. This is a bill that would prioritize illegal immigrants for disaster aid over citizens. That's what the legislative intent is. That's what the effect is. We are creating a state disaster assistance program with state taxpayer money. And in this program, we are telling the state government, as they are evaluating need, to prioritize non-citizens over the needs of citizens. Again, we're doing this across the board, or well, this body is doing this across the board, putting the needs of non-citizens illegal immigrants before the needs of tax-paying U.S. citizens residing in California is insanity. It is offensive. It is wasteful. We do not have the funds for this. What this means is that people who have disaster recovery needs will be basically put lower on the priority list and potentially told, no, we don't have anything for you because we've decided to prioritize people here illegally. I urge a no vote on AB 262.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Caloza, would you like to close?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think it's important for us to show leadership in moments of crisis and disaster like what we experience in Southern California. And as we know, if you are impacted by disaster, that doesn't discriminate whether or not you have legal status. And so this is a bill to protect and support all of our families. Respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 57, noes 10 on the urgency. Ayes 57, 10 noes on the measure. The measure passes.